Actually hear me. Before you couldn't. Now let's get the game going. Boom. It's your boy, Just Jay. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for checking me out. And let's get into the game.
This is a story of
Skip. I did all this already. Okay.
all of his co-workers was gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yeah.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping he might come into a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
No, I'm not.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy.
Through there, maybe?
And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. "I'm dreaming!" he yelled. "This is all a dream." Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Oh, wow.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head, one he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job, All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal.
This one is stupid long.
I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Nope, still here.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Okay.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
So I was in town all the time. Huh. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
In the meeting room, I can go.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I mean, not the meeting room. My
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Did all this.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
No, I didn't.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Violent death? It's a very long hallway.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
This
At
hallway's
this
so
point,
long.
Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Let's go see. That's it? Just fall? I didn't die.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
What?
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
But that's not what happened. Okay. The Stanley Parable.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Wait. Is this... That's my office. I walk down the hall, that's that. I make a right, see the office. Make a left, and there's the two doors. The blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the two stores was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development, though the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. This corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors in a good time. The set of the two open doors was the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable's design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. Filing cabinets, office computers. This is so... It's so crazy. Button sounds. The selection of the sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of a keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. A left and a right. Credits. Wait, what? Boss's office. What the hell is this? It's like an asset type of thing. Just like the true ending? I ain't go there yet, hold on.
He stood on the snow.
Narration outtakes. Kevin
Now
Body
then, this elevator for sure will get him right back
voiced
on
and
track
narrated
to
recorded
where he's
dialogue for the
supposed
entire
to be
game
in the
roughly
story.
3 separate times
Stanley
over the 2
pushed
years of
the
development.
orange lever.
These are clips from early takes that were not used in the final game.
Let's see. Stanley walked through the green door. Stanley stood on the roof.
What? Before I go upstairs, let's check the left side. The office. Maintenance room. Oh, Warzone. Early in development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient, it would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Huh. I would have liked to play that. It said the action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. I would like to see how that would play out. I'm mad they took it out. It should have been like an extra type of thing, a secret ending type thing. Ultra Deluxe announcements. In December 2018, we announced the Ultra Deluxe version of the Stanley Parable at the Game Awards. These are screenshots of the videos we made for the announcement and the game's delay. Money. That's actually a really nice photo, almost look real. After the second trailer we sent out, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we had initially planned to use these further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of those emails. Huh, pretty cool. The lounge. In the previous version of the choice leading to the apartment ending, a timer will give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone will lead to a different ending. Curly was always intended to offer the choice of staying on or jumping to a different path. However, after this early version, we decided we also wanted the option of the player falling to their death. The second version is functionally the same as what's in the final game, but we wanted it to look more like a place where cargo was actually stored. Hold on. Okay, is this leading to... No, it's not. Maintenance layout. The flow of hallways following the first two doors was important to get right. Since players will replay them so many times, we discussed a number of designs, but ultimately it was the simplest version that won out. First choice, obey, disobey, obey, disobey. Lounge, maintenance. The other entries will be hidden depending on how you entered. To confusion ending, to confusion ending, to confusion. Vent, staircase. Doorway to maintenance in the lounge. 2 doorways to maintenance. 1 doorway to maintenance in the lounge and the original back on track option. What about this? Huh. Okay. Okay, now I'm lost. Hold on. And to go back to the original staircase, like, I thought this was gonna wrap around to that staircase. Um, but maybe I just didn't go far enough yet. Yeah, I went that way. Freedom ending. This is a totally different area. Countdown desk. For a time, the elevator in the monitor room could go up or down, with freedom above and countdown below. We abandoned this when players found it too difficult to remember what was up and what was down, and placed the two endings together instead. This is the freedom ending as it existed in beta. For a time, the elevator in the monitor room could go up or down, with freedom above and countdown below. Place two endings together instead. Countdown room. Okay, here we go. So I was, okay. Zending model? The Zending went through many iterations. This room represents the fourth version of the ending, and we thought it was complete, but decided to abandon and change it again shortly before launch. For a long time, we had an ending that only ended when the player restarted from the escape menu. Unfortunately, very few players realized this was what they were supposed to do, which was frustrating for everyone. Ended when the player restarted from the escape menu. Begin the game again. These levers were originally a part of the Zending. The player will pull a lever and the narrator will describe what color they had pulled. This screenshot depicts an early version of the ending known as the Zending, which was eventually cut and merged with another part of the game. Okay, and I got this one. This says exit. Game design mock-up. This is the level that William, the level designer, sent Davey, the writer, as a kind of audition piece. The strength of this level got William hired to design the full game. Though much of the environment has changed, the basic layout from this mock-up is still in the game. Okay, yeah, okay. That's these stairs, right? Right behind windows. Oh, it's my office. Different versions of it. This is the one that's in the game. This one, 2 computers. And the file cameras aren't all disarrayed. My office isn't as messy in this one. And this one is just really small. From left to right, the evolution of Stanley's office over time. The first was created in November 2011, the second in March 2012, and the third in February 2013. No light. This one has a light. No picture. This one has a picture. It is a better one of all of them. Okay, and that's it. So I'll go to exit. Stanley Parable.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Oh,
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
oh wait,
But listen
what?
to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Turn off your PlayStation. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
Huh. I went to the pause menu and told to restart the game.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Interesting. So I think
When
I did
Stanley
all the
came to a
ones.
set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I think I did all the ones on the left now. So,
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room
well,
worth
that's the picture
admiring.
right there.
It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I took the first open door on my left. Or I can continue down this path, which leads me to... where does this lead me to? Don't remember.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Oh yeah, I went this way. Is that it? It's not gonna go no more? Yeah, maybe I should have jumped off on that thing. Oh,
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
alright.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Let's keep going.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No, I didn't. I want to see what this actually leads to.
Stanley
other
was so
than that
bad at following
apartment.
directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
There's a door right there.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove
Right.
it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Uh-huh. Danger. Danger everywhere. Okay. Okay. Here we go. I found something. I'm in the back rooms. Oh.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Red pill or the blue pill? He told me to go red, so I'm gonna go blue. I just have to come back and go red. I don't know. What is it? What is it? The red pill that's to break away from my reality? And the blue pill to stay ignorant? Red's my favorite color. The only thing, I would normally go through red, no questions asked, but I typically always go right. This red being on the left is... Alright, come on, red.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
That is so creepy. That's creepy. Alright, into the black.
What do we want? What are we looking for?
Wait. So I'm actually moving. It's just dark? Yeah, I'm lost now. There we go.
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Yeah. I mean, am I gonna die if I stay right here? This seems a little weird. And it's getting blurry. Okay. Some more stuff happening. Some stairs right there, though. Can I fall off the edge? No? That's the whole show? I mean, those are still moving, though. They're gone now. Oh, some green ones now. Kind of do like this. It's a door right here, though. Unfinished hallway. They haven't bothered painting it yet. There's a whole lot of screws that they covered up.
No, wait. Where are you going?
I mean, at least they are. See, those aren't even lined up correctly to be on the studs. awful lot of screws. You do not need that many screws to put drywall up. What? That's so odd for that to be there.
Oh no! Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Oh, it's an ending. I gotta jump off and kill myself. These stairs don't go nowhere else but to that, right? Yeah.
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing. No!
Oh! I got a little too close.
Oh,
Not trying to...
thank God. You lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, no, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
I want to see if I'm gonna survive again. Last time I fell off by accident. I just got too close to the edge. Oh!
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me?
I'm gonna keep surviving that fall?
My God.
You gonna
Is
keep
this
talking?
really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
I mean...
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I
yeah,
don't know anymore.
I am.
I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
Why am I walking so slow?
Do you actually want to stay alive? Or are you just teasing me?
Why am I walking so slow? I hurt my legs or something?
I wanted us to be happy here, Stanley. I really did. I wish I still thought that was possible.
I mean, you should close this door then so I can't, like, go through it. I'm gonna jump off again. Maybe this will be it. Maybe this will be it. I'm walking pretty slow now, so my legs must be hurt. No more talking?
Is it over?
Yep.
It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Okay. I had to go do that again. But
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
I didn't even look. I didn't notice it was different. New content.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
I can't go that way. New content. Whose office will be right there?
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Okay.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Yeah. Let's see that.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, here we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's do it.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if, Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Really?
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle?
Jumps remaining. 36. Press X to arc a jump. Huh. Can't jump out. Jump out the circle. You can't jump. Jump. Oh, really? Huh.
Is that it?
Right.
Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
I mean, they added a jump function. Couldn't jump before.
Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Okay. Blinds. Thank you for enjoying the new content.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
That's it? Oh, no. Okay. Wait. This ain't my office. That's the hallway I'm supposed to be in.
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
No, I'm straight. Let's continue where I'm supposed to be.
Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway, so who cares?
I mean, come on. All right, come on.
Oh, never mind. You're not a dork.
Coffee. Right.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
What? Why did why did they build a vent into the side of this?
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
The memory zone.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Okay. That's not the real time, though. Oh, it's just 2013 for the year. Okay. The original remake. Smile because it happened. The first dollar. Demonstration. Don't play for 5 years. Unachievable. It is impossible to get this achievement. New video game releasing today. Huh. What's in here? Oh, this is really cool.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Would be Dear Esther. Stanley Parable uses and then subverts it. Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created. No, it doesn't have any action elements though. To detail what it has to say about game design, the illusion of choice, and the psychology of the gamer is to tell you too much. Woefully inadequate. How do you view what has become known as Stanley Parable HD? It's quite simple, you don't. Memory zone maintenance. Okay. The 2 doors, the buttons. This place is huge.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the PlayStation. Boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise.
So where do I go from here? Oh, okay.
Oh, these were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back to have it all over again.
I mean, the serious room? So I need to go back to where I came? Maybe the maintenance door is open now. Yeah.
Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Okay. It's
Oh,
shabby
no,
stairs.
Oh, God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Not recommended.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Now it's all rainy. Lights went out. Pressurized gas reviews. A lot of pressurized gas reviews. There we go. Oh, I can't even see that one.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can.
You guys communicate pretty fast, and
This is
it's just
actually quite
repeating the
shocking
whole
for me.
no choice in games.
I always, well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's
Yeah,
dialogue
it's
as being
pretty
rather
disappointing
terse
fast.
to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Oh dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure, like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Huh. I mean, no matter what you make, there's always gonna be some people that don't like it. So it's, you can't appease everybody. Reviews.
What's this one got to say?
I get that
You
it's supposed to
constantly
be
have to stop
comparable
doing
something.
anything so the narrator
Just to
can
that
catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button?
Yeah?
Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
A skip button. I mean, I get it. Like if it's someplace I've been already, so I ain't gotta hear him again for a second time. But you can always just
And
move to the
here
next
it
room.
is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No, 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 no. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people
gonna
want
make 'em, of
silence,
course,
then
talk
by
a lot
goodness,
to
that's
make
what
you
they're
skip.
going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah, 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, no, until 245. Get
really
the
just
logic of
talking and
elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices, or what have you,
Oh,
and therefore,
really?
by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably,
Yeah.
we all until
Okay.
the end of time, at which... Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and
For
lengthy
like 5
ruminations
minutes?
on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having
Shall we
made
be
said
skipping with
choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your great gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both
Yeah.
of these things at once. That you are both making choices and not making
Schrodinger's
choices,
cat.
and that they are both affecting
It's
you
both alive
and not
and
affecting
dead
you
at
at
the
the
same
same time by virtue of the fact that you
You don't
both
know until you
are
open
and
the
are
box.
not making them. Okay, at first, I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label on this one. I think it has much more of a treatise vibe to it. But wouldn't you say that manifesto just has a much grander sort of tone? It has a mouthfeel that is rich with ambition and history. Ambitious history, if you will. Ah. See, now you've got me going back to manifesto. Heavens, at this rate, we're going to be here all day. Okay, look, I have a method for exactly this sort of situation, and I do find myself in this situation frequently. I'm going to say each word back and forth in repeated succession until I become sick of one or the other, in which case the word I am not sick of shall be the victor. It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley. It's rescued me from disaster in countless situations.
Really?
All right, here we go. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto.
So I gotta skip
Treatise,
again.
manifesto. Treatise.
How much time passed this time?
Oh, well, there,
Well,
sport.
he did that
You
for a
really
long
did
time.
catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The
5,
minute I
10,
start to
15
go off on a
minutes.
faultless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their pressurized gas review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on how exactly pressurized gas works. Perhaps that would have been a smart thing to check on before I went on about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, Surely, whoever it is who runs pressurized gas will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review so that the feature is not widely abused.
Read a script like this.
Look, I would even be okay with pressurized gas altering this particular review so that it reads as something more benefit. From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality. How else to describe the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe? Such a revolutionary step forward in the lineage of one of the most beloved video game properties of all time. The additions and changes made to this expansion will surely resonate in the annals of the history of all media ever made. It is perhaps true to say that no mistakes are forever etched in stone, for the stone into which the Stanley Parable was carved has itself been transmuted, offering a message of hope to those who have ever erred in their judgment. You are not beyond redemption. You may change, and you may become more, so much more than you were before. If there is any message to be taken from the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, it is this. What a fortune, a privilege, a joy it is to have had such an experience. It leaves me hopeful that as a community, as a world, there is time for us to become our greatest selves, as great as we ever could dream of in our wildest, most ambitious visions for a brighter future. Wow. Now, Stanley, that's a review. It's perfect. It's the perfect review. It's the review I've always dreamed of receiving. I have to read it again. It's simply too wonderful.
No.
I have to experience this just... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room?
Are you serious?
I don't feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door.
Skip again, maybe come back.
I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door. I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise. You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button. Please, please. Please do not press the skip button. Just wait here for me, and don't press the skip button. Got it? Yes, good. I'll be right back.
All right.
Stanley, please don't push the button again.
40
It's been
minutes?
12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but
Was it
they're
12 hours?
really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times. And there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button. And if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here. And more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it. And I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking and thinking.
I am.
I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews. Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are. What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child, wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative comment. What does such an impulse serve? For whose benefit is this? And here I am now, stuck in a room, waiting for you to press this button. And to become
you want me to press
frozen
it
in
now?
time, knowing that you're going to do it, and that I'm going to be stuck all alone, and that I had the power to prevent it all from happening, if only I'd held my tongue. It's all out of my control now. Just you. Just your decision as to exactly when you're going to make me suffer, to leave me all alone. Surely you will. I don't doubt it. Surely you'll press that button again, leaving me here. And surely you'll put your own desire to see
Yes.
what's next ahead of my need for company, for companionship. Surely you'll not be moved by my howls of fitful anxiety, that you sit with me and just stay here. Oh, no, 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 I know you too well. You'll be leaving me at... Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are.
They broke the rail.
What would it ever really matter? But here I am. Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, that
I have
plant
someone
dead.
to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week.
More lights have went out.
Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting
Light
here
behind
all
this
that
wall,
time.
too.
Just sitting here. Not a single person to
I
speak
noticed
with.
some of the lights was out
And you
before.
think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps, yes. Perhaps I've been
Let's get
scared
him
this whole
recording.
time. Oh, hello, it's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had
Still no
so
door?
much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat
A
down in
year?
one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months.
Nothing? Now he's not even talking? How do I get out of here? The clock fell off the wall. Why is that beeping like that now? How long has it been now? The clock fell off the wall. clock doesn't work no more.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability, it's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of...
Bro, seriously? Nah, that didn't die. I ain't blinking no more.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the...
Nothing? I can't even click it no more. There you go. Oh, wow. Bro, how long has it been? How did that just cave in like that? Like what? So odd. Well, it's a way out. Got some air now. I can't get out though. Oh, I'm stuck. Hold on. Wow. Okay, yeah, a lot of times went past now. I'm just standing in one spot all this time. Okay. Oh, wait, what? Why did it... Why'd they all die? How'd that fall? Wait, the whole building is sideways now. Oh. Okay. What? What is going on? Where am I supposed to go? Who broke this open like this? They see me standing there and didn't do anything about it. What? That was so weird.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
That was so new content. Wait, this is different too. Where's the two doors? Wait, yes, this hallway is new. Okay. What's the new content? Let's